And right now, we are 2 minutes away from the end of the trading day. Romaine Bostick alongside Katie Greifeld taking you through to that closing bell with a global simulcast. It starts now. Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, they're in the radio booth. Welcome to our audiences across all of our Bloomberg platforms. A third straight day of losses here for the benchmark indices. And more importantly, Carol Massar, this is going to be significant here. All of the major indices right now set to close below their 50-day moving averages for the first time since April.
All right, that sounds pretty significant, right? Technicians would certainly say it is. So is that a buying opportunity or a sign of more things to the downside? This week is a big one, guys. Nvidia earnings on Wednesday, Fed minutes on Wednesday. You also get a jobs report finally. It's an old one, but finally we start to get some government data. And then, of course, you get a read on the consumer with retail. So I think there's a lot coming out. Investors will see whether the news pushes stocks higher or to the downside.
Yeah, kind of seeing selling everywhere, risk off today. Look at Bitcoin down below $92,000 right now. It's at its lowest going back to April 22nd of 2025. Down from that 126,000 high just a few weeks ago.
And what's interesting is that it's not sending too much of a bid into the bond market in a having-seeking way. I mean, you're seeing 10-year yields down 1 basis point or so. Certainly not much to speak of there. At the same time, you are seeing the VIX above 22. We were higher above 23, coming back a little bit, but still certainly quite a jump in the fear index.
And it's kind of been holding above or around that 20 level now for the last few sessions. And that actually is relatively rare, even though a 20 handle isn't necessarily extreme, but it gets to this idea here of the jitters out there. And of course, as Carol was alluding to, with all the data and the earnings that we get this week, this market could really flip in either direction. Today, it's a flip to the downside with the Dow Jones Industrial Average down more than 500 points or about 1.2% on the day. As we wait for these numbers to settle, it looks like the S&P will end lower by roughly about 61 points or down about 0.9%. The NASDAQ Composite down 0.8%. Similar drop for the NASDAQ 100. But your biggest laggards, you're going to find that in the cyclical space, the mid-cap space and the small-cap space. The Russell 2000 down 2% on the day.
All right, going back to the S&P 500, the big caps, guys, most names in this average lower today. 413 names. Katie losing ground on this Monday, 89 to the upside, 1 unchanged.
Similar story when you take a look at the circle at the sector level. You can see there is a lot of red on that screen. What did do well was communication services as a sector higher by more than 1%. A lot of that, though, is Alphabet getting that endorsement from Berkshire Hathaway. In terms of what your worst performers were, you have financials, energies, and materials bringing up the rear on overall a very heavy selling pressure day.
All right, Katie, so you mentioned Alphabet. So let's start there because, folks, that is your number one gainer in both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 on this Monday. Stock was up as much as 6.3% intraday. So we did see an intraday high, closing, though, with about a 3% gain. This, as Katie mentioned, we got news over the weekend. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway disclosing a stake in the company in what was seen as a sign of confidence in its prospects. The stake, as of the Friday close, was worth about $4.9 billion. So that was certainly an outperformer today. I want to mention 2 names. We're going to bring them up on the boards for you. This was also a top gainer in the S&P 500 throughout the day. The news was lithium prices and shares in producers of the metal surged today after one of China's major suppliers delivered a bullish forecast for the battery material that had been languishing in a global glut. So shares in major producers, including SQM and Albemarle, were both higher. Albemarle up about 2.2% here in today's session, and SQM up about 9% in today's session. So some outperformance there. And then just one more, just kind of something different. Vita Coco, that one hitting a record today. It's up about 27% year to date. Heavy volume. B of A coming out, upgrading its recommendation on the coconut water company to buy from neutral, raising its price target to 54 from 48. That after President Trump issued an order on Friday reducing tariffs on hundreds of food products we know that can't be produced in the United States in sufficient quantity to meet domestic demand. The company issued a statement this morning saying that under that executive order, it believes that its coconut water products will be exempt from reciprocal tariffs as of November 13th. And so, yeah, investors kind of liking that one.
I don't know. Romaine strikes me as like a harmless harvest sort of coconut water guy.
I love coconut water.
Yeah.
I was an OG on the coconut.
You were
water.
back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Are you still?
Yeah.
It is.
It's the best way to hydrate. You know
I am a fan.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
I never see you drinking it.
Wow, she just called you out.
I know. And we do spend a lot of time together.
I know what he drinks. Water.
Hey, let's talk about some of the decliners. I want to start with the worst performer in the S&P 500 today. Dell down about 8.4%. Worst performer on a percentage basis in the S&P 500. A double downgrade from Morgan Stanley analysts who write that a memory supercycle increasingly poses a risk to earnings of hardware, original equipment, and design manufacturers. The analysts cut their ratings not just on Dell, but HP, Pegatron, and Asus Tech to underweight. Shares once again down 8.4%. Nvidia shares also taking a hit today. This is the worst performer in the S&P 500 on a points basis, down 1.9%. Certainly the big report that comes this week, Wednesday after the bell, so keep an eye on shares as a result of that. Also, Peter Thiel's hedge fund, Thiel Macro, sold its stake in Nvidia during the third quarter, offloading its whole position of more than 537,000 shares. That would have been worth about $100 million based on the closing price from September 30th. And finally, shares of Blue Owl Capital down 5.6% today. They were under pressure. There was this big piece in the Wall Street Journal late yesterday. It goes into detail about how the firm is financing data centers and its exposure to the AI trade. Blue Owl, among the fund managers that have brought in trillions of dollars in recent years and of late put much of that money toward financing data centers. We spoke to Chris Whalen, chairman of Whalen Global Advisors, a little earlier. He referenced that article when we were talking about the financial firms involved in the AI ecosystem. Whalen is not sold on this technology. He doesn't see this, the output from this, as being as exciting as so many others think.
Can I just say, I listened to that interview. You guys got to let him finish his answer, by the way. But I stayed to listen to the whole thing. Stood in the bathroom the whole time. Let's check.
Hey, thanks for the feedback.
I did, actually. It was good. But anyway, we get to the idea. You talk about data centers and AI. That's actually been a big driver of what we've been seeing in the bond market. I want you to take a look at Treasury yields. They didn't go a whole lot of places here. Obviously, some people did bid in as a potential safety play, but the move was kind of constrained because of the gigantic corporate bond sale out there by Amazon. And we've seen this play out over the last few weeks here with Oracle and a couple other big behemoths coming into the corporate bond market, and that kind of sucks life out of the Treasury market here. So that could be a big story here going forward as more of these companies look to capital markets to fund their AI dreams. Carol Massar.
I'm kind of stunned.
What are you stunned about? Romaine's feedback?
Yeah, about not interrupting.
Yeah. Who are you talking to, me or to Carol more so?
I don't know. Or were you talking to yourself?
All three of you, probably.
All three of you. You know what I was really doing, guys? So I have to confess. So I was in the mirror admiring my new tattoo. So Katie and we've been working together for the last couple of months. And to commemorate that, we went out this weekend and got matching tattoos.
Held hands the whole time.
It's true. Katie, show them.
Should I? What camera should I look at?
I don't know.
For this? There's a camera to my left. Here's my new tattoo. It's real, I swear to God. That is a lovely close-up. My first tattoo, and
last
it hurt
one?
a lot.
Do you know, I saw that on social, and I'm like, she's just playing. She's just kidding around. Because you have a great sense of humor on social. And I'm like, this is not a joke. Oh, my God.
Not a joke, not a joke. Finally took the plunge. Have been talking about this for years, and on a whim,
didn't it hurt back there?
You know, it did. It did, and it still does, but, you know, doing okay.
So what did Romaine get?
You're hilarious.
Yeah. Well, now, Romaine, you know, you have to go.
Now I'm committed. Maybe Carol and I, we can increase our bond here.
Yeah. Carol, do you?
Sorry, Tim. You have to
Do you have a tattoo?
I do not have a tattoo.
Here.
No comment.
No comment.
Okay. Hey, there maybe is a connection here to the labor market. I'm going to try to make one.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe there is. I don't know. I don't know what the demand looked like for. Did you have to wait in line for a while? Were there a lot of people?
Troubling story.
There is a troubling story. It's among the most read. Michael Sasso out with a piece talking about how there are different jobs that historically have been unloved. If we're talking about a trash sorter, a prison guard, somebody standing for hours on end in traffic under the hot sun that years ago wouldn't have gotten many applications, but as a result of a labor market that is starting to weaken, are getting a lot more interest.
Yeah, I mean, I've read this story earlier today, and I mean, it was kind of fascinating. There was that anecdote about the guy who said he would get, like 10 calls a week or something, and he's getting like 80 applications for, let's face it, a lower wage job. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but the idea that there just wasn't that much appetite for that just, even a year ago, according to him.
Kind of a sign of the times, perhaps. We'll see when we get that monthly jobs report. It'll be for September, but we'll see whether or not it's troubling. So what do you guys got for us?
Well, cars, here's an interesting story that Ford is going to, or it has struck a deal with Amazon to sell certified used cars through its e-commerce website. Another interesting sign of the times that now you're going to be able to buy your used cars online.
Who's delivering them?
That's a good question.
Drones.
Apparently,
Can you get it overnight?
Car buyers will take delivery of their vehicles through Ford dealers participating in the program. Apparently, about 200 of dealers nationwide have expressed interest in selling on Amazon. It's going to be really fascinating to see the uptake here.
It's going to be really fascinating to see what the packaging looks like, because last time I ordered from Amazon.
Okay, my dad's bought a car at Costco before.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he
And
really?
you only had to buy one, despite the joke that he makes all the time. You had to buy six of
you
them.
have to buy.
pretty good
I
joke.
like your dad. That's a good
Yeah,
dad.
it's a good joke, right?
Yeah, it is.
All right, and for all of you interested in, like Romaine, what tattoo he should get, just send us an email.
A terminal, obviously.
Terminal. Yes, a
A
terminal.
terminal. Nicely done.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Real company man, right?